I was just gonna say, it's always a good theory that you talk about fertility preservation with a 14-year-old, but I know I'm talking to a blank wall. And the same would happen for a cisgender kid, right? They'd be like, ew, kids, babies, gross. Or the usual stock answer is, I'm going to adopt. I'm just going to adopt. And then you ask them, well, what does that involve? Like, how much does it cost? Oh, I thought you just like went to the orphanage and they gave you a baby. No, it's not quite like that. And I was just trying to find it, but I can't quickly locate it because all I have is like a picture of a slide. But apparently last week at the Pediatric Endocrine Society, some of the Dutch researchers gave some data about young adults who had transitioned and reproductive regret, and it's there. And I don't think any of that surprises us. I don't remember any of the numbers or anything. I have a picture of a slide, but hopefully this is something that'll get published in the next while. But I think now that I follow a lot of kids into their mid-20s, I'm always like, oh, the dog isn't doing it for you, right? Yeah, they're like, no, I just found this wonderful partner, and now we're kids and da da da. So I think it doesn't surprise me, but I don't know still what to do for the 14-year-olds. The parents have it on their minds, but the 14-year-olds, it's like talking with diabetic complications with a 14-year-old. They don't care. They're not going to die. They're going to live forever, right? So I think when we're doing informed consent, I know that that's still a big lacuna of that we do it, we try to talk about it, but most of the kids are nowhere in any kind of a brain space to really, really, really talk about it in a serious way. That's always bothered me, but we still want the kids to be happier in the moment, right?
And I appreciate that much less with a 9, 10, or 11-year-old who's starting puberty suppression, and like Ren said, if they continue on, then and I mean it's like developmentally not in their space to be able to have to think about that, and it shouldn't be, right? And so I think it is a real growing edge in our field to kind of figure out how we can approach that. I'm definitely a little stumped on it.
I'll just add one more complication in there, is that then if you do have, which doesn't commonly happen, but if you are interested in preserving fertility, then the options for doing that, depending on age and stage of development, also can be, from a medical standpoint, may or may not be possible, but then from a financial standpoint also may or may not be possible. And that's another complexity adds another layer of complexity to these discussions as well. And that's at any age, I guess.
And from a social and sexual standpoint, right? In some ways, the stuff that you need to do to be able to preserve your fertility might be beyond kind of where a youth is at in terms of their sexual development, and yet that's kind of what's needing to happen. And yeah,
I don't think that we have all the answers, and I appreciate y'all's comments, bringing highlighting the nuances and the challenges here. I find a range of maturity levels and having thought about this or not having thought about it, again depending also on the age and the cognitive maturity, emotional maturity. I know y'all do these kinds of things too. Think that it's better to give them the information and have them be able to reconcile, like, we wish we could afford this, but at this point we can't, and so we will proceed down this avenue anyway, but not later on then find out, oh, nobody ever told me.